Hi everybody, it's Crystal here, and today I am with Fernando, and he's going to tell you his story.
My name is Fernando Villegas. A little bit about my story. Let's go back to, I'm going to take you guys back to October 8th, 2012, where I went to my kidney doctor. And for the longest time, he was telling me I had kidney disease. And one thing that's really important for you diabetics out there and are seeking professional help with a nephrologist, make sure you let them know that, the stages that you're in, if you're diagnosed with kidney disease. He never told me until it was too late. I was a stage 4 kidney disease. So it's really important that I'm going to share my story more than anything because it's really important for me to educate you guys on the prevention of kidney disease and how you can prevent it and how you can stay on top of it. So in 2012, October 8th, I went to my regular nephrologist appointment and he told me when I wanted my shunt put in. My shunt, I said, my shunt, and he said, yeah, that's what you're getting ready for dialysis. So it freaked me out. I was scared, and I told him, how come you didn't educate me on this? And he said, I've been trying to, but in reality, I'm going to take ownership for this. I did not ask, I guess, the questions as far as how many stages there is in kidney disease. And I figured since he was a specialist, he would have told me that, but he didn't. So I'm taking ownership of that. So for you guys, make sure you let him know what stages of kidney disease, if you have kidney disease, you're in. So for me, it was too late. He asked me, you keep going the way you're going, you'll be dead in a year, or you can get on dialysis. And that's where the shunt speech came in. And I said, well, I want to live. So he said, well, you might be a good candidate for kidney pancreas transplant. So I said, yeah, let's go that route as well. So I was able to get a quick appointment with California Pacific Medical Center, which is my hospital where I received my kidney pancreas transplant. If you're severely obese, they don't want that because it's a little difficult. So for me, I had to lose 25 pounds because they go in from the front. So it took me a long time. I pretty much became 100% vegan. I didn't know that because they told me to watch my, not only did I have to watch my carbohydrates since I was a type 1 diabetic, but also my protein intake. So it was very hard, and it took me all the way from October of 2012 to May of 2013 to lose the weight. And they went ahead and did a full physical on me, checked me for everything. They said you're a good candidate for a kidney pancreas transplant. So I did get approved for that, but I had to lose 25 pounds. So it took me, again, till May 2013, and then they put me on the active list. So in September 2013, can't remember the date, I want to say it was September 15th, I got my first call. Unaware, I was kind of like, I guess, get your ready bag and possibly you're going to get a call later and it's going to be a go. So unfortunately, I got the call later and the pancreas did not make it from the deceased person. So up to the week to that following Wednesday, which was September 22nd, 2013, I got another call. And I remember picking up the phone and they said, get ready. This might be it. And I said, okay, well, I'm ready. And they confirmed the appointment. And it was a long procedure. I went to my surgery, California Pacific Medical Center from Northern California, where I live up here. And long drive, scary drive. They prepped me, got there around 5:30 in the morning, and it didn't, the doctors were not ready till 1:30 in the afternoon. So I remember getting wheeled in, getting me prepped up, and it was scary. I didn't know if I was going to survive, but obviously I did. I'm here, and everything's going well. My donor, I'm going to share her name. Her name is Christina Chesterman. She was a young nursing student out of Chico State. and she died. She was hit by a drunk driver. She ended up dying in the hospital, in a little hospital where I was born in Chico, California. She saved my life. So I'm very close to her parents. But ever since then, I'm going on 9 years. I still take care of myself. I eat like if I was a diabetic. I was a type 1 diabetic for 29 years. So even today, I don't have any soft drinks that are, pretty much everything I have is still sugar-free or low carb. So, yeah, that's a little bit about me. The carbs that do get me are the tortillas, the breads, and the rice, and yeah, that's what gets me. So I got to watch those even now. But I am on transplant medication for the rest of my life. I'm still not a diabetic. That's one thing with the transplant medications is they make you gain weight, and you got to watch your carbohydrate intake. So I still do, but I'm blessed that I'm not a diabetic. So I guess for you guys, as a reminder, please ask the correct questions. Don't be afraid to ask the questions to your doctors. And I know it's super hard. You're taking it from a professional. Super hard to change your diet. But please change your diet for the best and for your family and for yourself. I know for me, being a type 1 diabetic, because I have family who are diabetics and are on insulin, and I know diabetes affects everybody different. For me, when my blood sugars were high, I felt really, really horrible. I would feel antsy. I would feel like couldn't concentrate, blurred vision. And for other people, they don't have those symptoms. So for me, I was always checking my blood sugar. And I know it's hard, but believe me, we've come a long way with, there's all this technology where you can wear a device either on your shoulder or just it's checking your blood sugar through your phone. I mean, it's amazing. I didn't have that. My blood sugars, my first glucose monitor, I remember it was like a stopwatch, and you had to prick your finger, and man, that sucker hurt so bad. So compared to now, before I got my transplant, I was checking my blood sugars. Before I go to the gym, I would check them on my forearm, on my belly, on my calf. I mean, it's just amazing how far we come. So, yeah, please take care of yourself. That's a little bit about my story.
I had a couple questions to ask you, if that's okay.
Of course.
Okay, so first question. When you were first diagnosed with diabetes, did your provider go over the diagnosis with you?
He did. I was 13 years old. And I remember, I was pretty overweight as a kid. And I loved carbs. I still love carbs, like the tortillas and the breads. And I remember my first sign was getting up and urinating in the middle of the night like 20 times. And finally went to my primary care doctor, and I was diagnosed. He said, hey, you are a diabetic. And for me, diabetes runs in my family, and it was just, I was crushed. Yeah. I thought it was the end of me, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And all these thoughts as a young 13-year-old went through my head. So yeah, I was diagnosed, and I had to go see a dietitian at that young age. And my parents were pretty much monolingual, so it's really hard for them, the education piece, to get through.
That.
Yeah, to understand that. So it was really hard, really hard for me. And back in the 80s, there wasn't a lot of, I still remember one of the first diet sodas I drank was like a Tab soda, sugar-free, and it tasted, it had sucrose in it, tasted gross. I didn't want, probably that's why I don't drink hardly any diet sodas. But yeah, it was really, there wasn't much back then, in the education piece too, into the Native communities and the Latino communities. There wasn't any
resources out.
Yeah.
Okay, now question number 2. Is there anything that you wish your provider would have informed you of after the diagnosis that could have prevented you from getting worse and having the double transplant?
Yeah. I think at the beginning, and that's my nephrologist. If I would have saw him from the get-go, I'm going to be honest, I learned more from the DaVita website. I recommend anybody going on their DaVita website and going on there, and they really educate you a lot on the function of your kidneys, the different stages of kidney disease. I would have gotten it. I would have been able to turn around and I believe, because I know myself, I think I would have turned around and I was taking protein drinks because I work out. All that I was doing just killing my kidneys, right? I was consuming a lot of protein. I would have changed my diet around. I know I would have changed my ways of life if I would have known the stages of kidney disease. I was probably at stage 2 when he told me.
Wow. So you think if you would have asked the right questions and if they would have gave you the right answers, you could have had a different outcome in that?
Most definitely, yeah. So that, I think, with that, providers sometimes, they don't know your background, they don't know your story, and I hate to say it, but they assume. So make sure you ask those questions.
Yeah, so you have to vouch for yourself. You
Correct.
have to be your own advocate sometimes.
Most definitely, yes.
I love that. Okay, question number 3. Did your doctor refer you to a diabetes education group, or did it consist of any of that? So did you have like a program that you can get involved in?
Yeah, I did. At such a young age, I did. I went and saw a dietitian. Okay. I didn't take him seriously, when I was a kid. It was really hard.
As you got older, did you?
Of course, when I got older, yeah, it was easier for me. Most definitely easier. I wanted to live my life as like the rest of my other friends. Especially my teenage years. Yeah.
Okay, so question number 4. Is there anything that you would like to share with others that have been diagnosed with prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, to help them on their wellness journey?
Yes, I guess education, number 1, get educated. Ask if you don't understand something, whatever, even if it's a simple, for you it might be a simple question or a hard question, please ask your providers and get educated on the different types of diabetes. There's gestational diabetes, there's type 1, type 2, type 2, depending on where you're at with type 2, it can be turned around, by, for example, losing weight, eating healthier, and just whatever. Make sure you talk to your provider.
I would like to thank you for taking the time to come and meet with me and help us change and better the lives of our community with your amazing story and your amazing strength. I hope this video gives others the power to change their life and strength to change their stories for the better. We all deserve to live happy and healthy lives. Thanks, Fernando.
No problem. Thank you, Crystal.